Welcome back to our channel, Purposely Rerouted, where we take you along for whatever we're doing in Florida. If you're new here, my name's Tiffany.
I'm David.
And we are filming this video because today, November the 20th, is our 5-year anniversary on YouTube.
Say what? 5 years? Good Lord.
Yes, 5 years. So we have our beverages, our adult beverages.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes, we uploaded our first video on November the 20th of 2018.
That's a long time ago.
Yes.
I don't even remember half of 2022.
I know. I know. But it seems like the 5 years have flown by.
Mm-hmm. Well, they say time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, and we sure have had some fun. In the past 5 years, we have moved 3 times. The big move was from North Carolina to Florida. We moved into an Airbnb. We stayed there for 3 weeks-ish, 3 weeks-ish. Then we moved into a rental for 6 months because we had to show 6 months worth of income before we could buy our house.
Which was a good thing because we also wanted to kind of visit the different areas and do drive-bys different times a year and just see kind of how the different areas looked like and how traffic looked like and the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So it gave us time to kind of
figure out where we
do some searching where we wanted to live.
Yeah. So when we moved here, we moved everything into a storage unit, and then when we found the rental for 6 months, we moved everything out of the storage unit into the rental. It was a 3-bedroom. We had 1 bedroom that had all of our junk in it, and then the other part of our junk was in the garage. Then we moved for the 3rd time to this house. So, moved 3 times in 5 years. We've made countless memories, made new friendships, and rekindled old friendships because Dave's been able to rekindle some of his friendships from his high school days from our love of Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is pretty cool, I think. We've also remodeled our whole house, mostly ourselves.
Never again.
Well, I don't know. Never say never. It's been a wild ride, and there should be many, many more years to come. But to commemorate the 5-year, I gathered 5 questions related around YouTube. I know what the questions are, but Dave does not. We're gonna ask each other these 5 questions, and we're both gonna give our answers.
So her answers are going to sound logical and just really, really good, and my answers are going to sound just pure dumb.
No, they're not. Don't say that. Question number 1. What inspired us to create a YouTube channel?
Is that for me?
It's for both of us. Do you want to answer first?
Yes.
Go ahead.
To make memories so friends and family can see everything that we are doing, as well as us later on in the years, we can reflect by looking back at the memories we have made.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with what Dave said. I think that initially I was pretty much the one that came up with the idea of, hey, let's start a YouTube channel, because once the decision was made to move to Florida, that was a major decision for both of us to make to begin with. And as you do when you are moving to another state that you've never... We've been to Florida before, but we had never lived in Florida before. So, of course, I got on YouTube, did some research, looked up Florida vloggers. I had the idea to start a YouTube channel, and Dave was on board with it. Not because we wanted to get famous or not because we wanted to, make a career out of it or anything like that, but because we wanted to have a way to preserve our memories. It was a major, major decision for us to up and sell our house that we had built in North Carolina.
At the beach.
Yes, and move to a state where we knew nobody, had no friends, and just kind of basically start over. So I thought it would be a good way to film the journey along the way and be able to have something like a video diary almost to look back on.
Video yearbook, maybe. I don't know.
And also a way for our friends and family that we were moving so far away from to still feel like they were connected to us. I don't even know if you know the answer to this.
I know the answer to everything. May not be the right one, but I can give you an answer.
How did we come up with our channel name?
When she told me about it, it was not my favorite. I kept saying, oh, you should do something else. You should do something else, because it's difficult for some people to spell it correctly. But we had a friend, a neighbor, that Tiffany came up with a list of different YouTube channel names, and we had a friend, like I said, neighbor, that really liked this name too, and she made some valid points on why we should name the channel what it is. So I think that's why we went with it, but how we came up with it, or how she came up with it, because we purposely rerouted our lives, everything, jobs, and, you know, basically just got up and rolled out.
So that is mostly correct. We uploaded our first video on November the 20th of 2018, but about a week before that, because we had been filming things, so I had like a, you know, video library of videos that had been edited and were ready to go. I was ready to post them, but, you know, I needed to kind of set our YouTube channel up, have a name, so on and so forth. So I went on my Facebook page and I asked our friends and family, you know, we're going to start a YouTube channel. We don't really know what to name it. You know, does anybody have any ideas? So our friends and family put in the comments, you know, what their ideas were. And our backyard neighbor, we called them our backyard neighbor, and they called us their backyard neighbor because our houses kind of butted up to each other. Erin and Corey in Southport, North Carolina, she asked me in the comments, well, what kind of content do you want to create? What are your videos going to be about? I didn't want our videos to be strictly theme parks, although I knew that it would be a big part of our channel, because we both knew that we were going to have Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, you know, all the theme park passes once we moved to Florida. But that we also knew that it was going to be a while before we could get those, because we just didn't have the funds to pay for them initially up front.
We did, but we were trying to save every penny
for a house
to put as a down payment, because we didn't know what we were going to have as a down payment. So
exactly. So I told Erin, I said, well, it's basically going to be about our journey of moving from North Carolina to Florida, and then once we get to Florida, all of the experiences and memories that we make along the way. So she said, why not call it Purposely Rerouted, because you're basically purposely changing the trajectory of your life from one road to a different road. So you're purposely rerouting your trajectory. So that's how we came up with the channel.
Told you her answers are going to sound better than mine.
No, you just didn't remember the whole story. It was it's 5 years old. It's a 5-year-old story. And Dave did not like the name at first. He thought it was stupid. He did not want to call the channel Purposely Rerouted. He was like, nobody's going to remember that. We should call ourselves some kind of something Disney. And I didn't want to have like a Disney specific name, because I knew our videos were going to be more than just Disney. We had to turn the fan on because it's getting kind of hot in here, so sorry if you hear the fan noise in the microphone. So our next question number 3, what advice would you give to someone who is nervous about starting their own YouTube channel?
Be like Nike and just do it. I think that's the best approach. I mean, just kind of jump in and be yourself and do it. Go in with an open mind, and you know, don't be too hard on yourself. I'm the type of person where what you see is what you get, the good, the bad, the ugly. That may not necessarily be a good thing all the time, but you know, I just think you need to just jump in and do it.
I agree with that. I think that if you're nervous about starting YouTube, the best thing to do to get over those nerves is, like Dave said, to just pick up the camera and film. It doesn't have to be fancy equipment. We filmed with our phones for, I think, 2 years before we ever bought a camera. And this is the camera that we film on. We only have one camera. We don't have a backup camera. We just have our phones and this camera.
If I had it my way, we'd still be filming with phones.
Yeah, Dave did not want to spend money on a camera. But yeah, just pick up the camera and film. Don't worry too much about all the technical parts of it, because if you just have the mindset that you want to improve with each video, then your videos will improve as far as quality and everything. You know, I'm always constantly trying to find different ways for us to improve our content, whether it's editing, equipment, or whatever the case may be. So that's my best advice is, you know, just pick up the camera and film. Eventually you will get better at it, and it will get easier and easier and easier with each video, and the nerves will kind of go away.
Mm-hmm.
Not completely though, because I still get nervous when I film, especially in public. But I feel like I'm a whole lot more comfortable filming in front of the camera than I was when we first started, because we were both really like stiff and talked like this with no emotion. That's all.
Robot, baby.
When we first started filming. So with each video, you're going to get better. So just pick up that camera and film. Worry about the rest later.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 4. What are our short-term and our long-term goals for this channel?
Long-term for me is to get outside of the Central Florida bubble. I've been to Destin. I love Destin. I love the Panhandle, everything that it has to offer up there. I want to go to some of the natural springs, so I want to venture out. So for me, long-term, venturing out is what I want to do outside of the Central Florida bubble. And obviously, when I say outside the Central Florida bubble, I don't mean just in Florida. I mean everywhere. Texas, California, Europe, Australia, you know, that's kind of a long-term goal for me. I want to kind of go experience all of these other places. You know, I just want to see a bunch of different things and see how people live in other countries and kind of what their, you know, like their heritage and stuff is, and, you know, how they grew up in comparison to how we grew up here. Short-term goals, probably just stay focused and keep putting out content on a regular basis like we have been for a few months.
For a few years. Consistently.
Yeah. I guess it's been longer than a few months.
Yeah.
Hey, a few months can be 28 months.
A few months is 2.
No, that's a couple. That's a couple months. Say something.
Is that your answer?
That's my answer. What's yours?
Short term, kind of like what Dave said, to just try to stay as consistent as I can. When we first started our YouTube channel, I was not consistent at all. Looking back, I wish I didn't have the mindset that I did, because I had the mindset of people just didn't want to see our everyday mundane lives, that the only time that we should be filming is if we were out doing something, having new experiences, going new places. And when we first moved to Florida, that just wasn't really feasible for us to be going and doing something new every single weekend, because
we just didn't have the time.
Yes.
Because of work.
We were both working, you know, lots of hours. Dave was driving all over Florida, so his commute was short some days, long some days. My commute to work was long every day. You know, sometimes I wasn't getting home until 8 o'clock at night. So who wants to work all day, have, you know, 2 and 3 hour commutes to work and back, and then come home at 8 o'clock and then try to figure out somewhere to go so you can film something.
And be chipper and positive.
Yes. So we weren't consistent in the beginning because of me having that mindset, but I wish, looking back, that we would have just filmed our lives, because I think that humans are curious and, like to see how other people live, like to see what you're cooking for dinner, like to see what you're buying at the grocery store, your grocery store hauls, you're decorating, whatever.
What she's saying is humans are just nosy, so they're going to watch.
Well, that's another word for curious. But I wish that, back then I would have had that mindset because of me having the mindset of, well, we can only film when we're doing something or having a new experience or going to a new place. We weren't able to stay consistent because of that. We've been consistent now for probably a little over 2 years, and we've seen growth because of it. So I think that staying on that path is my short-term goal, and my long-term goal is just to keep doing what we're doing. And I also feel like Dave does. I want to kind of get out of the Central Florida bubble, although there is still a lot that we want to do in Central Florida that we haven't been able to do yet. But we do want to travel. We've talked for years about getting a travel trailer. That's still years down the road, but that is something that we've always wanted to do and would give us a means to travel to different places. So yeah, those are our short and long-term goals, I think. All right, and the last and final question number 5. What are some of the biggest lessons that we have learned from our earliest experiences on YouTube?
Patience, which I have a lot of.
Are you sure you've learned that?
Oh yeah.
Dave has no patience. None at all.
But when you are filming, you do have to be patient because some people don't like the fact that you're filming. Some people get excited when they see that you're filming, even if they don't know who you are. But you just kind of have to let it roll off your shoulders because there is some positives to it. There are some negatives. When I say that, I mean the looks that you do get by people around you while you're filming. I just think you need to respect what the people around you are doing because they're paying good money for a lot of these tickets. If we're at a park, for example, they're paying a lot of good money for these tickets. So we try not to, we try to give them all the respect that they need to be able to enjoy their day because they paid good money to do and see some of the same things that we're doing that we're able to see pretty much whenever we want because we live a few miles outside of the parks. So patience definitely is, I think, the big thing, which I definitely need to have more of it, but I have a short fuse.
Yes, he does. And when we're doing some of these, events where we pay an extra ticket to go, like some of the after hours events and stuff, I have to tell him, put your patience pants on.
She does. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. But when I don't, she puts me in check real quick, and it ain't pretty. Y'all don't see that part on camera.
I think some of the biggest lessons that I've learned is to just really not care what the people around you are thinking or even saying. I've never really heard anybody say anything negative when we've been filming, but, people do give you funny looks.
Or get frustrated.
Because we've been in restaurants before when they were bringing us the food and they, have a frustrated look on their face when they see that we're filming. And we always, try to say, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah, because we can redo it.
I've always tried to keep in the back of my mind not to really worry about what people around me are thinking or, giving me dirty looks or giving me funny looks, because I think
rolling their eyes. That's the big one that I see.
I'm not going to see that person ever again. And even if I do, who cares? They're not in my life. I'm never going to speak to them. So who cares what people think? Just do you. And I don't understand why they care what I'm doing.
Nosy.
So I think that one of the biggest lessons. And then the second biggest lesson, we kind of touched on previously just to be consistent and try to, keep uploading on those Tuesdays and Fridays. And of course, during the holidays, we'll probably upload a little bit more because we're going to have more content during the holidays that we want to get out. before the holiday is over. So you may see a little bit more of us in the month of December, but we are just thankful that we have lasted this long on YouTube, that we have not given up, because there have been times that we both wanted to give up. If you didn't know already, Dave has his own channel, and he's wanted to give up plenty of times, but I do think that he enjoys it. You know, it gets him out of the house. It's all car related, and he hasn't uploaded in a while, but he is going to start ramping up some videos. We have some videos filmed. I just need to edit them for him, but we want to have, you know, at least a good library backlogged so that he can have some consistency going forward. So 5 years. Here's to many more. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Doink.
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 Cheers.
Doink. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, click that bell.
Yeah, it's all free, so just do it. Just do it.
I will see you in the next one.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.